Here's something most people don't expect. Some of the smartest minds I've studied don't look productive, confident, or put together at all. In fact, many of their habits look strange, unimpressive, even wrong. And that's because intelligence doesn't always show up on the surface. Sometimes, it hides in behaviors people misunderstand. Today, I want to walk you through 5 strange habits that show up more often in highly intelligent minds, and why they exist. Now, a quick clarification. This isn't a diagnosis, and it's not a checklist to prove you're smart. These are patterns observed across psychological research and lived experience, from scientists, creatives, and deep thinkers who all share one thing in common. They experience the world more intensely from the inside. Some of these habits might feel familiar. Others might make you uncomfortable. That's usually a sign we're looking in the right direction. Habit number 1. They talk to themselves. Highly intelligent people often have conversations no one else hears. Sometimes internally, sometimes quietly out loud. This isn't instability, it's metacognition. Research shows that self-directed speech can improve focus and problem-solving because it forces the brain to organize complex thoughts into language. In simple terms, when thoughts are messy, speaking gives them structure. That's why people like Einstein were known for it, and why you've probably done it yourself while working through something difficult. But there's an important distinction here. Productive self-talk sounds like, "Let me think this through." Unproductive self-talk sounds like, "What if everything goes wrong?" One clarifies, the other spirals. Highly intelligent minds tend to live closer to that edge, which is why learning to guide inner dialogue matters so much. Habit number 2. They intentionally allow boredom. In a world addicted to stimulation, this one feels almost rebellious. Many intelligent minds allow themselves to be bored, on purpose. Not scrolling, not multitasking, just mental space. Neuroscience links boredom to activation of the default mode network, the system responsible for reflection, creativity, and insight. This is why breakthroughs rarely happen when you're forcing them. They happen in the shower, on a walk, staring out a window. Boredom isn't emptiness, it's unstructured thinking. The problem is, modern life makes boredom feel wrong, like you're wasting time. But for certain minds, boredom is where ideas quietly form. Habit number 3. They doubt their own intelligence. Here's a paradox backed by decades of research. The more someone understands a subject, the more aware they become of what they don't know. This is known as the Dunning-Kruger effect. Highly intelligent people live with this awareness constantly. They say things like, "I could be wrong. I need to think about that more." Not because they lack confidence, but because certainty feels dishonest. This self-questioning keeps them curious, flexible, open to correction, but it comes at a cost. Living with constant awareness can feel heavy, mentally exhausting, and sometimes isolating. The challenge isn't eliminating doubt, it's learning when doubt is helping and when it's holding you back. Habit number 4. They work at unconventional times. Forget the idea that intelligence follows one perfect routine. Research shows a correlation between higher cognitive complexity and preference for non-traditional schedules, often later hours. But this isn't really about being a night owl. It's about knowing when your mind works best. Highly intelligent people tend to notice their cognitive rhythms early on. They protect their peak focus time, even if it looks strange to others. Some think best late at night, others during quiet afternoons. Some in short, intense bursts. The mistake most people make is forcing productivity instead of listening to it. Intelligence adapts to the brain, not the clock. Habit number 5. They obsess over useless knowledge. This one surprises people. Highly intelligent minds often dive deeply into subjects with no obvious payoff. Obscure history, random science, unrelated ideas. Not to impress anyone, but because curiosity pulls them there. Psychology links this to cognitive flexibility, the brain's ability to connect distant concepts. What looks useless now often becomes useful later. Steve Jobs didn't know a calligraphy class would shape modern typography. His brain just followed interest. But there's a quieter side to this habit. Sometimes, caring deeply about niche ideas makes people feel disconnected, like their inner world doesn't quite match the one around them. That's not arrogance, it's misalignment. So those are 5 strange habits that appear more often in highly intelligent minds. Not rules, not guarantees, just patterns. And if you saw yourself in some of them, it doesn't mean you're superior or broken. It may simply mean your mind processes reality with more depth than most environments are designed for. Intelligence isn't always obvious. Sometimes it looks quiet, sometimes it looks strange, and sometimes it just feels like not quite fitting in.